Hello and welcome to Ethan's Bass World. I'm Ethan. Bass World. I listen to Snakes and Arrows, the 2007 Rush album, the second to last Rush studio album of all time. And of course, I don't think they knew that it was their second to last. How would they know such a thing? But to us, it's starting to get melancholy because you're getting towards the end. So you know what? This wasn't for me a perfect Rush album, but I am more lenient on a couple of the things that I'm not as into because there's something melancholy about it being one of their last works. But that being said, amazing album. It feels like they, in a lot of ways, went back to their roots. Like it's more 70s prog rock, hard rock influenced. It almost has more of a 70s prog thing than like a Foo Fighters thing, that their last few records were really trying to do like sound like the other bands. I don't know if they were like trying to sound, but they were influenced by other bands that they probably played near and got to know and things like that. But this is the first album definitely since Counterparts that I really loved. And I have a hot take. I think this is the most progressive rock album that they have made since Moving Pictures. I think it's an album where you listen to it and you go, oh, those are the same guys who made Moving Pictures grown up. I'm not saying it's a more mature work. I think in a lot of ways, Moving Pictures is a much more mature album, and I like it more. But I can hear the lineage. I can hear the development in their musicianship. I can hear the stylistic choices that are similar. But there's also some influences in there that are kind of interesting. Like I hear Red Hot Chili Peppers, but not like early Red Hot Chili Peppers, not 90s Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like on Counterparts, I was saying it sounded like 90s One Hot Minute. It almost sounds like early 2000s Red Hot Chili Peppers on a couple songs. In the guitar playing, in some of the harmonies, I noticed that something that the Chili Peppers do, and I am not a music theory genius, but and I also have not transcribed these vocal parts, but to my ear, it sounds like what John Frusciante is often doing is singing a perfect fourth above what Anthony Kiedis is singing. And it's not what you would expect. Like major thirds, minor thirds are a lot more like what you hear in vocal harmonies, but singing a perfect fourth, it kind of adds this like weird rock thing. I could be totally full of shit. But I feel like I heard some perfect fourth harmonies and some kind of clean guitar and some kind of like Frusciante style soloing. And I'm like, I wonder if they were enjoying like By the Way. Which is cool. By the Way was one of my favorite albums forever. There's amazing musicianship and songs across the whole album. I think it's a really good album, but the song The Way the Wind Blows is probably in the top 10 Rush songs that I've ever heard. I really think it is incredibly good. It's so beautiful that I sent it to my wife. And I don't, especially like I don't send her like prog or hard rock or classic rock bands because that's not as much what she's into. But I sent it to her at the gym and I was listening to it and I watched her face that she, at the end of the song, she was like, yeah, that was really pretty. And I was like, right. The chorus, it starts bluesy hard rock. It's like, it's not what you'd expect because once it gets to the chorus, you're like, this is the most beautiful thing I ever heard. With like kind of classical guitar or acoustic guitar, I don't know, whatever. And then the chorus kind of extends and becomes hard rock, but it still has that pretty like classical harmony, like 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, just kind of very, very pretty, like classical march, wedding march kind of sound. And that song was the first song since Moving Pictures that I was like, oh, there's some musical lineage connection, spiritual connection to the song Limelight. Like there's something about the song Limelight that I'm like, why didn't they do 15 or 20 more songs that are kind of like Limelight, that are just like rock songs that are so singable, so like incredible, that like work so well as a live song. I feel like The Way the Wind Blows would be so pretty and so moving as a live song. I don't know if they're playing it on tour right now, but I will be very excited if they do. It's very, very pretty. It's one of my favorite songs I've heard in quite a while. It's probably my favorite Rush song in their modern era that I've heard since Animate. I think Animate is my favorite of the modern era. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really a mid to late 70s to mid 80s Rush fan. You know, once I've heard most of the catalog, that's really where I think their greatest work is, from 2112 to Power Windows, best era. That's just my opinion. That I really feel strongly about that. And I think they're all slam dunks, all of those albums, and everything else is mixed. And this one, I gotta say, is one of their better ones that isn't from that very, very special era that they had. So that's my hot take. I thought this was really good. And as someone who's becoming a really deep Rush fan, it makes me like emotional. It feel really happy that they ended on a bang. Like, I also heard parts of Clockwork Angels. I haven't finished that record yet, but I was like, yeah, they're doing really good work, and I'm proud of them for ending on such a strong note. So good for you guys, Rush. I'm so excited to see you on tour. You're the best. R.I.P. Neil. Best band ever. Love you guys. Love you, YouTube.